So everyone, and welcome to another How Good Are More Swimsuit Characters, because there's more swimsuit characters. We need to get through all of them because, like I said, someone in the comments asked me to do swimsuit characters, so I'm doing swimsuit characters. We're going to start out with probably the most notorious characters out there, not because they're strong or whatever. I don't even know how strong they are. I mean, I'm going to tell you how strong they are, but I haven't seen that many of them in game, is what I was trying to say. However, many people wrote for them because they're the Amanes sisters, and they're... Just look at that card art and you know why many people wrote for them. But how good are they actually as characters? Like, aside from all the fan service, how good are they? They are an Exilius gorilla. Hey, that's quite something. They're an Exilius gorilla, they're a heal type. Maybe they can actually be really useful, right? Because usually I say, when on other heal type characters, I say, okay, heal type characters are fine, but wouldn't it be nicer to have an Exile Gorilla who's a heal type that can get to their healing Magia or their defensive Magia, whatever Magia they have, a lot faster? Because usually heal types have really good Magias for like stalling, for being defenses, for healing people. So let's get there fast, right? So what is their personal? Who cares? Their stats, however, like, you would expect these stats to not be as great because they're a heal type, and that's indeed what they are. They're kind of average, alright across the board. Nothing too special to see here. So what's their connect? Certainly their connect heals because they're a heal type, right? No. It gives MP restore, which is fine. That's good to have, especially because if you are playing them, you're probably playing them on a Magia team, on a stall team, and of course you want to have MP for your Magia on a Magia team, on a stall team like that. However, what you don't really care much about is crits. If you're stalling, what do you care about crits? Magia can't crit anyway, so this is kind of weird. But I guess if you play this on a team that actually hits hard with discs, like maybe a blast team or a charge team, then I guess you have crit as well, sure. And it removes Stellar's ailments. So the MP restore is fine, the other two are kind of weird. I guess they're not bad, they're not terrible effects, they just exist, I guess. So overall the connect is kind of, like I said, for purely the MP regeneration it's fine, but for anything else it's sort of not that amazing. But what we really care about is the Magia. Like, they're an Exile Gorilla, we're gonna get to Magia quick, right? We're even giving other people MP restore, we're playing a Magia team. How good is the Magia? It gives a stacking regeneration to all characters. Amazing. You get the regen HP, which is 12% per turn on Magia level 5. And it's going to go higher than that because, of course, you're going to probably try to stack it. And it also gives stealth aim resistance up. That's also really good to have on a Magia. That said, there's nothing super duper defensive on here, like reducing damage. That's usually what we're looking for, reducing damage, because there are enemies that can sort of one-hit or two-hit a character really quickly if they don't have a defense up or a damage cut up, so those are actually always nice to have. You don't have this here, but at least you have the regeneration HP, so if someone does get hit by something and they do get put on low HP, then hopefully they get healed up without having to rely on having to directly heal them. The the Doppel is just more of that, as we expected. But what is the Spirit Enhancement? Is the Spirit Enhancement something amazing, something worthy of talking about? It gives Magia damage up twice, so actually the Magia does hit quite nicely. Some regenerate HP, as you would kind of expect from something like a heal type. Gets stealth and resistance, like once again, to the heal type, so they get that as well. Defense up, that's really good to stay alive, so the bonuses on here, nothing too special, but are nice to have and really good to have on a heal type character. And then also anti-bind and anti-magia seal, just to make sure that they can actually keep pumping out Magia. But what if they get stunned? No, they have anti-stun as well. The only thing that can stop them from using their Magia, if they have it ready, is Charm. And not that many people have a powerful Charm. And even if they do, Stellar's aim resistance, you still have 25% chance not to get hit by any of those. So they can at least stay around and make sure they keep getting their turns if they need to. And they're not going to get stopped from using their Magia. That's really good. What else do they have? Chance to skill seal one enemy for 40% chance. Why not 100% chance, please? But more importantly, gives Stellar's aim resistance up to all allies 15% chance. Hey, they're actually looking quite alright. Overall, they look quite alright. But nothing too amazing. Like, they have nothing on them that is like better than other characters, is what I'm trying to say. But at the same time, they're not really worse than most other characters. They're just sort of middle of the road kind of. Yeah, they're a decent healer, right? With the Magia at least. They work well on a Magia stalling team. Make sure to protect your entire team from ailments. Make sure your entire team is regenerating HP. Not really putting up defensive buffs, but at least like doing some healing, putting some MP restore out there. Stream is disconnected. This is local recording, so I can keep going. So yeah, overall they're quite alright doing all of that utility stuff. So I'll say that they're alright. They're like 75% thumbs up. Not super duper amazing, but at least still quite decent. Next up though, we're gonna talk about another character. It's Swimsuit Kyouko. Look at that, it's Swimsuit Kyouko. She has pretty good stats. She has a connect, she has a Magia. She's literally the regular Kyouko in gameplay as well. You wanna know what the difference is? There's barely any. The connects, like compare these two connects. Okay, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. You look at the active effect. Compare these two active effects. That's like the only difference between them. If you want to know how good Sakura Kyouko swimsuit version is, just watch my Sakura Kyouko review. How good is her personal? Not good. Yeah, just watch my regular Sakura Kyouko review and just imagine she's wearing a swimsuit. It's literally the same character. Moving on, we have another character today. We have Rena and Kaede music version. How good are they gonna be? So their discs are a bit weird in that they have two charge discs because this is a character that was released in 2020, and apparently in 2020 they want to make a bit more of a push towards charge discs. So charge discs are gonna be more important. However, we do see that they are a Magia type, so we're looking towards MP regeneration. How about their personal? It's not great for the most part. However, it does have the really interesting option of having ignore damage cut. So I guess if there's an enemy that has a ginormous amount of damage cut, you can take them and have like one turn where you can ignore damage cut and do them loads of damage. But that's about it. It's a super duper situational personal. You don't really care much about it. Their stats are super duper in the offensive variant, so they might not last very long. They might die really, really fast. For some reason, a lot of duo units aren't very defensive, and you'd think they'd be more defensive because they're duo units, like 2 units for the price of 1. But no, most duo units are they die really fast. Anyway, so they have a lot of attack, which is going to be important later. However, let's move to the connect. Damage up 40%. Nice, they have a really good connect for that. Critical hit. I mean, if you're playing a Magia team, once again, critical hit is not going to be that important. So it's fine, it's fine. And we generate HP. This is really weird. We have one bonus that is just always good, especially for a Magia team. Then we have one bonus that is for a non-Magia team. And then we have one bonus that is kind of defensive, utility-wise. There's a bit of a disjoint going on between all of these different effects, but okay, whatever. I guess that's just a thing. Then we have attribute strength and damage to all enemies on their Magia, which means that they're actually really good against Kimochi. Which is why they were the top damage dealer against Fire Kimochi. At least I think one of the top damage dealers, maybe not the top damage dealer. I think actually the #1 top damage dealer against Fire Kimochi was Mayu. I'm not even kidding. I think Mayu was #1 damage dealer against Fire Kimochi. Anyway, so they're really good at dealing damage against Fire Kimochi because they have attribute strength and damage, which is really important against Kimochi. But just apart from that, this will kind of delete fire enemies. So if there's a really strong fire enemy, of course, use this Magia, it's going to be great. Next up, it gives attack up to all enemies, which is really important on a defensive team, or just in general on a setup team where, just like in Kimochi, where you have multiple turns to set up a burst or just set up strong DPS. You can use this to buff your entire team for quite a lot of attack up, so they're amazing on doing that. And it also restores MP to self, so you can keep using this Magia over and over again to keep buffing your team. And it buffs damage cut, sadly only to self. The reason it says self here is because Rena is part of the team, and Rena wants everything to herself, including Kaede. So sadly, this buff doesn't go on all allies, and it's only 20%, or 30%, sorry, on Magia level 5. But hey, at least because they are not really looking too great on the defensive side, at least having a damage cut makes them stay alive longer, but it's only for 1 turn, which is also kind of a head scratcher for 1 turn. That's not a whole lot. So yeah, at least the attack up is nice, the MP restore is nice, so they excel really nicely in Fire Kimochi against Fire Kimochi, but just in general they excel really, really nicely in a Magia sort of environment where you're using multiple Magia to buff yourself up to deal damage, especially against fire enemies. One thing to note, if you use the Magia 2, which is double, MP restore hits all allies for 20. It's just percent here, this is wrong, it's just 20 MP for all allies, which is really good. Because right here, this MP restore is just to self. Here, it's for all allies. That's amazing. Which helps spamming Magia even more. What about the Spur Enhancement? As you can see, of course, because they have 2 charge discs, they get charge disc damage up. Okay, they just have that, I guess. That's just something. They also, for some reason, just flat out get a 10% damage up. Just passively, they just have that. Okay. Whoops. Because they are a Magia type character, they also get anti-Magia Seal. They also, for some reason, get a chance to evade. That's also good stuff. So a bunch of really good to have bonuses, I would say. Magia damage up, excellent picking up. Nothing special. They literally have no special SE node outside of damage up, and even that is just damage up, right? But there's nothing too terribly bad in here. It's just very, very standard. Just very, very standard stuff. What about their active? Damage up and Magia damage up for 1 turn. Which sounds nice on paper, but it's 10%. 10% damage up and 12.5% Magia damage up. That's almost nothing. That's so little. It's basically nothing. Well, it's better than not having it, but it's still basically nothing. So overall, what is there to say about the Rena and Kaede music version? They're really good at playing a Magia team. But they're not super duper top of the line amazing, but they're still pretty good. They're pretty good at playing in a Magia team. So overall, of all these characters, like this one was quite alright at healing with nothing super duper special. This one is just Kyouko, so she's amazing actually. And this one was just, yeah, pretty good on a Magia team. You can take along and she's gonna be fine, especially when you can spam Magia to keep getting that attack up, especially if you can get to either to Magia 2 to give MP restore to all allies. So yeah, decent. They're all decent characters, which is a big step up over the characters from the years before that. For example, Swimsuit Homura and Swimsuit Iroha, which were not that great, kind of terrible actually. Well, actually Swimsuit Iroha was kind of alright, but at least they now figured out that, hey, maybe swimsuit units should actually be kind of alright. So yeah, that was that. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys next time.